What's going on, everyone? Another shoe review, and this one is the Taichi Up30 CARBON. Now, this shoe I bought with my own money. No one's paying me to make this shoe review. These are my opinions, and my opinions only. So let's get started. Alright, so quick specs with this shoe. This shoe is a neutral racing shoe. So if I go like this, you can also see the carbon fiber plate right in the middle, carbon plated racing shoe. The stack height for this is 40 millimeters on the heel, 10 millimeter drop, which goes down to a 30 here. The weight on it for this is a US 10. So I checked on the scale. This is about around 294 grams. And right now on Aliexpress, it's not available, but if it were, it would be just around $140 US dollars. Alright, let's talk about the upper really quick. So the main feature for the upper is using a fiberglass material, fiberglass yarn. As you can see, kind of like right here, it's kind of like all around the upper. It's basically very similar to like the vapor weave. It's very translucent, so if I go like this, you can see my fingers right through it. Ta-da! It also has some material, some overlays, with like for the toe box and to the sides. It also has some underlays, some interlays inside the shoe as well. So there's like, if you look in here, you see the little ventilation holes. It's fairly breathable, I must say. So with the tongue too, it's a very thin material. It also has holes on it as well for ventilation. Now the heel counter, very padded, very padded, but it keeps your foot locked very nicely. Very padded inside, as you can see. If you can see, all right there. And then it does have a pull tab. Now the other feature that it also has is reflectors. You can see there's a reflector right there, and then there's also one reflector right there and also in the back. Alright, let's talk about the outsole really quick. So it uses what is called an ETPA midsole, which is this top layer right here. If you look at it really closely, it's very similar to the Adidas Boost. Now I'm going to use my wife's shoe as an example. Very similar to this. This is, I believe, the Solar Boost or the Solar Glide Boost. Very similar material as the top. As you can see, it kind of has like the little foam area stuff with it. Now, there's also a carbon fiber plate, which I would assume is probably where between this first layer and this second layer I'll get to in a second. So it kind of goes down right here. And then it kind of just springs up right there. So it has a nice rock sensation, a rocker sensation. Now when it comes to the bottom layer of this midsole, it uses, I believe, what they call a P4U material. It's kind of like a gel material, kind of jelly-like. So when you kind of take a step, it kind of absorbs everything. Now the outsole kind of uses a rubber material. So just so you guys know, I put over 160 miles on this, and you can kind of see the outsole is pretty worn down. There's really no grip on it, except the inner part. As you can see the lines right here, it's gone. Right there, it's pretty smooth. And obviously, like I said earlier, you can see the carbon fiber plate. They kind of made a little dent, like an inner dent right here to keep some weight off. And then this is the back part, very similar to the top. The pros to this shoe is definitely the ride. It's not as soft as, let's say, the Vaporfly, but it does give you a really nice smooth transition with the carbon fiber plate along with the ETPA foam that it uses on top along with the P4U on the bottom. It gives a nice smooth like rocker sensation. Right when you put this shoe on, you can definitely feel the carbon fiber plate. You can definitely feel the rocker sensation. You feel like your foot is probably going like this. So it does give that good feel. When you go certain paces, you can definitely, even though it's 294 grams, you can definitely feel like you're moving with it really fast. Your feet are very quick with it. It doesn't feel 294 grams, but you know, I've taken this shoe like maybe I think as far as like a 19-mile run at one time, and my foot felt completely fine afterwards. Another positive too is the lockdown of the shoe. You don't feel like it's going to come off your foot. It feels just about right. Those are my pros for the shoe. So I have a few cons with this shoe. Let's go with the upper really quick. I don't really necessarily think that the overlays and the underlays are really necessary. If this was going to be like an actual racing shoe, you want it to be somewhat light as possible. So I would probably, my suggestion would probably just take all this overlays and underlays out. Just keep that fiberglass material because I think it's pretty good. Now right here in the toe box area, when I first started putting this shoe on, kind of gave me not blisters, but it kind of gave me like chafing, kind of taking somewhat of my toe, top of my skin off, especially around this area of the toe box, because you can see it's a little narrow. Doesn't really give you that much wiggle room. So I started having to put tape on my upper of my toes, and that ended up being pretty good. Another con that I would have to say is possibly the heel. Although I said it has a nice lockdown to it, I feel like you could possibly like somehow make this area not too thick if you want to shed weight to make it like an actual racer. So maybe kind of calm down with the padding, not too crazy with it. Now the outsole is a little bit different. Probably use another material to use for the outsole because I felt like, I think when I hit around 50 miles, that's when I kind of felt like the grip was going away around that time, and then I was running on a wet sidewalk and kind of felt the loss of traction a few times, so I kind of had to be very careful with it. Another thing too I forgot to mention is the sock liner. Now when I was running really good paces, like really fast paces, maybe doing like strides or just super fast intervals, going around like, I don't know, under 530 paces, under 5 paces, I did feel a little bit of like blistering going on in the bottom of my, like the balls of my feet. It's only good for certain paces, so if I was hitting maybe like, I don't know, maybe between a 630 pace, it felt good underneath my foot. But when I was going a little bit faster, I started feeling like it was possibly getting like blisters happening, so watch out for that. And then when I told you about like I was cutting, like just getting cuts from the top of this right there. So just be careful when you guys purchase this shoe. Just make sure that you have like some sort of tape, like KT tape or something like that. Just wrap around your toes just in case if that happens, like it happened to me. Those are pretty much the only cons I can think of right now. Now, what I would use this shoe for, right now, currently, I'm using this shoe for like my long tempo runs. Not really, this is not really a daily trainer shoe whatsoever. I have used this a little bit on workout days when I'm doing really fast. But like I said earlier, the insole kind of like has somewhat started making underneath my foot, so I kind of stopped using that and just been using this for long runs, long fast runs. So it's a great shoe. Just my suggestions were to kind of like just take all the outer layers, inner layers out. Keep that fiberglass material because it's so light and translucent. The midsole, I love the midsole. It's really good. And just change the outsole. And I think that this shoe would be the perfect shoe on a race day. Now, thank you guys for watching. At the end of this video, like and subscribe. I'll make more of these videos in the near future. As of right now, take care.